Yeah. Ah.
You ever heard the song Sky Pilots? Who does it? I don't remember, but they used to play it on Riff when I worked at Insulgard, man. They would play it, especially on Fridays. Friday morning.
Hi, everybody. So welcome back to my channel, and I feel like things look weird. All right, let's see. Is that better? I think that's better. So, Bam Bam, who's under Hypnagothic, is not here today, which makes me feel a little bit weird because she's like my partner in crime, but she has gotten herself. Oh, today's topic is you have to actually work with me on this. We're gonna talk about Will Smith because Bam Bam didn't want to talk about Will Smith, so I kind of wanted to because I felt like I wanted to talk about Annabelle this week, but I can't do that without Bam Bam because she's the one who wanted to do that, and I feel kind of weird not doing it. That's better. I don't like my hair down for some reason. And so I want to talk about Will Smith because there are so many things that are being said online that I just feel like I just want to talk about it. But Bam Bam actually got strep throat. And can you hold on 1 second? I have to tell people to be quiet.
Maybe you should wait, like,
They're listening to you. There's people listening.
you should probably wait now. I didn't even know you were on. We're doing what Chelsea does. We come up to yes,
They're listening. My son is cooking dinner, and he's just having himself a good old time. She'll be fine, Micah. I think she got sick on purpose so she wouldn't have to come up here today. But let's get to the topic at hand because I think it's kind of a cool thing. So I feel like nobody wants to I've seen a lot of people talk about it, but they really haven't talked about what I feel they should have, because it seems like they're just more interested in breaking down this couple and saying that they suck because they have an open relationship and all these things. And I just kind of feel kind of weird about it because I have nothing they're very funny. Oh, did you see? I'm trying to be like the Joker today, except I did it in the mirror and it says So I think that if people want to have an open relationship, that they should be allowed to, and nobody should be able to tell them that it's not cool or it's not going to work or any of those things. And I just feel like a lot of people have been talking about Will and Jade, or is her name Jada Pinkett Smith, because they have an open relationship. And the open relationship part is just kind of stupid to me. What does that have to do with anything? Nobody can tell anybody to have a certain type of relationship. And I mean, I know that an open relationship does not work for me, but at the same time, I would never tell somebody that they can't have an open relationship. I am so sorry. I have to go one more time. Eat just a little, please. Come on. I know. Can you just? I can't hear. I have the worst attention. If I hear things in the background or I hear music, I can't think right. Does anybody ever have that problem? But okay, so for those of you that don't know what happened, I think it was the Oscars were having a like an award show, and it was a big deal for Will Smith because he had never gotten an Oscar. I get really confused with the Oscars, the Grammys, the VMAs, all those things. I don't really pay attention, and I honestly don't think I would have paid attention to this if the slap wouldn't have happened. And so Will Smith is supposed to get this Oscar for the movie King Richard, which is about Serena Williams. Is it Serena and Venus Williams? I think so. The tennis players. I don't know a lot about them, except I know that they broke records and they were super excited. And King Richard is actually about the father because he was like this really protective, like guy that just looked out for his kids. So Will Smith takes this part. He's at the Oscars. He's sitting in the audience, and his wife, Jada Pinkett, has something called alopecia. And I've been hearing them say alopecia is an autoimmune disorder. I didn't know that, and I really haven't looked it up. But alopecia is when you start losing your hair and you start balding. So Jada shaved her head, and she went to the Oscars bald. And Chris Rock gets on stage, and he's going to do his little thing. And he basically says, like, Jada, you know, I love your hair, and I can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2. And G.I. Jane is a movie about one of the first soldiers that ever became like special forces, and she shaves her head. And so, you know, Will gets up and he walks over to Chris and he slaps the shit out of him. And everybody thinks it's a joke. And I still hear people saying that it was staged and it was fake, but I knew that it was not fake. My daughter is going to walk in.
Hi, Mima.
I am online. It's okay.
Are you live?
Yes, and they can hear you.
Do you mind if we go to the basement? If we can't, I can just bring
I think that this is really inappropriate to ask me while I'm sitting in front of a camera.
Should I talk to Dad?
If you want to go in the basement, you can. Go ahead. It's messy though.
She just needs to charge her phone. I'm sorry.
It's
Bye,
a very
everyone.
that was my daughter. It's very busy here at my house. Now my dog's gonna get in the window and bark. Maybe howl for you. No, she's not. Okay, great. Okay, let's keep going. So yeah, alopecia is loss of hair and patches. And it can be caused by trauma, or it can be a genetic, something like that. So is it actually an autoimmune disorder though, Sam? Oh, bam. Oh man. Bam bam. So I don't know if it is an autoimmune disorder, but then Chris Rock is standing there after the slap. Will Smith sits down and he screams to the top of his lungs. He's like, "Get my wife's effing," did he say effing? Yeah, I think he did. The FUCKING out of your mouth. And he was like, "Okay." And then he said it again, and he like screamed it like so obnoxiously. And then afterwards, all of this controversy ensued, right? Okay. I don't think alopecia is an autoimmune disorder. I think that everybody's saying it's an autoimmune disorder, and it's not. I think it's just it might be a effect of an autoimmune disorder, but I don't think that it's actually, or a symptom of an autoimmune disorder, but I don't think in itself it is an autoimmune disorder. But correct me if I'm wrong. And then, so let's talk about the controversy. The controversy was that Will was not asked to leave, and that people thought that that was really inappropriate because if it would have been anybody else, they would have been arrested. Chris Rock told LAPD, I'm almost positive it was in LA, that he did not want Will arrested, but the Oscar committee, they didn't tell him to leave. They let him get his award, and then he got a standing ovation afterwards. And there's a lot of controversy about that. Then, oh, hey, Thicky Nicky, what's up? So then after that, more controversies came in. So I guess Jada and Will are Scientologists, or at least they've been theorized that they were Scientologists. I guess they opened up like a kids' school in Beverly Hills, and it was found out to be Scientology based. Then there was this information about Jada cheated on Will, but then we found out that they actually had an open relationship. But on Red Table Talk, which is Jada's like online Facebook talk show, they like talked about like I guess he was interviewing her about this entanglement that he had with this guy named Augusta. I think it's Augusta. And they were basically doing this interview to show that it was okay that she'd slept with somebody else. But what they didn't talk about, and this is what I want to talk about, what they didn't talk about is the boy that and I say boy because he was actually her son's friend, and they brought him into the house when he was a minor because he had addiction problems and they were going to help him. And Jada started sleeping with him. So everyone's talked about, oh, she cheated on him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, you can't cheat on somebody if you have an open relationship. And I really don't think it's anybody's business if they have an open relationship. However, you can groom a minor who is got addiction problems and like mess with them psychologically, which is something that I've never heard anybody talk about. Like, how weird is that? That would be like if my son's friend came to the house and I like seduced him and started sleeping with him. Is this the truth? I don't know. I do know that Augusta, the rapper, is like 20 years old, was Jaden's friend, her son, did live in their house when they were in a minor, and both of the parties have admitted to sleeping with each other. So I think that that's more important than anything. Like, why are we talking about the open relationship? All right. And so as time goes on, we find out that, you know, the Oscars have to come up with like some kind of, I guess, a result of what happened with the slap. And Will Smith basically says, you know, I resign from the Oscar nominations, but he gets to keep his Oscar, but he's not going to be a part of the committee anymore. And then, like, a couple days later, they tell him that he's not allowed to come back for 10 years. And everybody's like, oh, that's so bad. And that's so horrible. Now, here's where I have a problem with this. Will Smith got on national TV, probably international, because it was actually viewed on different countries. So it's international TV, stood up and slapped a comedian in the face and was not arrested, which I don't understand why it would have been Chris Rock's decision, even if it was him. A crime still was committed on international TV, and he got to stay. No matter what you want to say about that situation, it was assault. He assaulted somebody on live international TV, and he wasn't arrested. He got to stay there. And then later that night, there's footage of him at the like after award, the after parties, and he's like dancing and jumping around. And, you know, he sent messages saying, you know, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But I don't even think he wrote those. I think his like representatives and agents wrote those, or what do they call them, publicists or whatever. It just, he was not sorry. And I can't speak for what's in his head, but now there's all these rumors that he's checked into a mental institution. Well, they call it a psychological spa. And I don't know. I just thought it was crazy because I hear all these talks about privilege and all these things. And like, you're probably looking at one of the most privileged situation. Had that been somebody like us who doesn't have millions and billions of dollars, whose name isn't in the mouth of gazillion people, we would have been arrested and we would have been in jail and we would have been like going to court and seeing a judge and having probation like every other person in the world. But Mr. Will Smith, because he's famous and does all these things, he gets to assault somebody on international TV. And they say Chris Rock doesn't want to talk about it. But why should Chris Rock talk about it? Like, he did nothing. All he did was make a joke about G.I. Jane, which, in my opinion, isn't even a bad joke. So why would Chris Rock have to talk about it? He didn't ask for that to happen to him. He didn't say that he wanted that. Like, it just, there's no reason. Like, if anybody should be talking about it, it should be the Oscars. Like, the people that run the Oscars, they should be the ones talking about it. Like, why didn't he have to go home? Why wasn't he arrested? What made it cool for him to, like, still get an Oscar after he slapped someone? So I don't know. I just felt like we should talk about it. What do you guys think? Anybody have anything to say? Is this like the worst like subject of all? Does anybody agree with me that he's super privileged, or am I crazy? Yes, so I agree with you, Bam Bam. I think that there's more to it than what they say. And I do think that there is probably a strain in the relationship between Jada and Will. But do I believe that, like, so the other thing that people are saying is Jada is like this super evil villain and she's controlling Will Smith. And I mean, if you kind of watch the video, that is my dog snoring, just so you guys know. Like, my dog just made that noise. I have a gigantic Rottweiler. Did you hear that, Bam Bam? So the thing about that video is that when you see Chris Rock make that joke about, G.I. Jane, you see Jada look up and roll her eyes. Now, Will is laughing until he looks over and he sees Jada rolling her eyes. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Like, it's almost like he had in his head, and I could be assuming that if I don't do something, I'm going to pay for this, because he didn't think anything was wrong until he looked at her. And okay, let's see. So lame of Will Smith. Chris Rock kept his composure pretty well. Yes, I'm actually really disappointed in Will Smith. I just think that something probably happened prior to everything in their lives. And yes, I heard him. Oh yeah. Okay, good. So like, Will Smith is actually one of my favorite actors. He did a movie about a famous stockbroker who was actually he was like homeless, and he did this movie with his son, Jaden. I'm almost positive. I forget what the name of it is. Good movie, and it was so inspiring. And Will Smith is just such a great actor, and he really makes you like him. And the power and influence he has to go up there and just slap him like they're in some kind of like nightclub or something, and the Oscars, like, their whole motto is, this is the best of the best, this is the elite of the elite. And he just, I don't know, like, I don't know. And I don't particularly care for Jada Smith, but I also know that she's not like controlling Will Smith. And I feel like a lot of people just want Will Smith to have like a pass, like they want a reason for why he did what he did, and they're trying to like figure it out. And so like a lot of people are pointing fingers at Jada. And the fact of the matter is, Jada didn't do anything. She rolled her eyes. I mean, I might have rolled my eyes if somebody would have pointed me out during an Oscar, award ceremony, or said something. Maybe not even because I understood properly, but just because I was, rolling my eyes or whatever. She didn't do anything. She didn't say anything to him. But I do know after he went up there and slapped Chris Rock, she started laughing, because then Chris Rock was like, Well, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me, and you can see over the corner Jada's laughing. Like it's funny. And that kind of disturbed me because I felt like, I don't know, as somebody's wife, and this could be a bit presumptuous, when I see my husband doing something that's going to affect his career, is going to affect things that happen to him, that's going to hurt him, I talk him out of stuff. Like, if he's going to do something stupid, like, say, for instance, if he got mad at somebody and he's like, I'm going to beat that guy's ass, I would pipe up and be like, do you really want to spend the night in jail because you want to beat this guy's ass? Is he worth it? Like, jail really sucks. And, I mean, I just feel like anyone's significant other should kind of look out for their partner. Oh, is it buffering? I'm sorry, guys. Well, I kind of just wanted to do a very light show. So if it's not working out really good, then maybe I'll click off in a bit. But I guess I really wanted to just talk about it because I've seen so much things about, well, they have an open relationship and that's so wrong. No, it's not. Like, why would anybody care about their open relationship? Like, that's just like a personal preference. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. What does have something to do with something is the fact that Jada slept with one of her friends or her son's friend. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got that messed up. Oh, okay. um, and there's just been a lot of weird things that have happened with the Smith family. And I kind of like browse through Jada's like or not Facebook, but Instagram. And there's something else that really that happened that kind of like irritated me. And I'll talk about that too. So like, I don't know, it was probably like a year ago, and you guys probably don't know about this, but there was this girl, her name was Jordan Woods, and she was Kylie Jenner's friend. And Kylie Jenner is one of the Kardashians, but she was at a party with Khloe Kardashian's boyfriend. I think, is it Tristan? Tristan. And they ended up kissing, and Khloe freaked out, and it was like this big celebrity gossip thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Thicky Nicky. And so it was this huge thing. And then Jada was like, you know what? We're going to have Jordan come to this red table talk, and we're going to talk about this situation, which, I get because she wants to get better ratings or whatever. But the thing that really bothered me is when Jordan sat down and they started talking about what happened at this party where Jordan kissed a married man. Jada said something that really stood out to me. She was like, so Jordan is one of our friends. She's been one of our friends for a really long time, and she's one of us. So, she didn't do anything wrong. And it was just really weird because it was like, we claim her as ours and she can do no wrong. And I just thought that was so weird. I'm glad it's working for you because they like weren't really talking about like how she was innocent. They were just talking about how like she was allowed to do what she did and it wasn't her fault. And I don't even want to go into the Jordan Wood, Tristan, Khloe Kardashian thing, but it was Jada who was just basically, it just gave me this whole feeling of like, I'm this big, powerful person, and what I say goes. And I could be wrong when I think that way, but that's just how I felt. Like she very much had this ego. And it's kind of funny because when I watched one of her interviews, she said she has a big ego, and if anybody ever makes her mad, that she would go after them. And that stuck with me too. And then when Will was on Red Table Talk and he was actually interviewing Jada, or they were talking, and they were talking about God, what was his name? the AU, I forgot it. I said it a bunch though. The rapper guy that she had it wasn't an affair. The rapper guy she slept with, when they were talking about it, Will Smith looked really upset and his face got red and it looked like he was crying. And he basically told all these people, he's like, the only reason I look like that is because my eyes water. I don't know. It was weird. I mean, my eyes water too, and my nose always runs when I go online, so I understand, but there was just something about it. And there was another Red Table Talk where Jada was on Red Table Talk and she was talking to one of her friends. And I want to say it was a model with blonde hair. I think it was Gwen something. It was, I don't know. But she was talking to her and she basically said, she's like, well, when you're married, you assume that your partner knows what you want sexually. And I don't know. It just sounded so weird. It was like she was basically talking about how Will Smith doesn't know how to please her sexually. And I thought that that was strange. And I thought there might be a chance that this woman has broken this man down and possibly like messed with his head. But I can't tell you if that really did happen. I think that they're very strange people. I think they're really eccentric. But I also think that they live in a world that we don't get to see very often. And you can really lose yourself if you don't keep grounded. That's just what I think. Micah, Genesis. What is Genesis a part of? I'm curious as to what Genesis is. So, yeah, I don't know. It kind of made me angry because I felt like the average everyday person gets treated in such a way. And I feel like our criminal justice system is set up that if you don't have any money, there's a really good chance that you might go to jail for something or prison for something that you didn't do. But if you have a lot of money, then you're okay. And that just played out for me because Will Smith, he committed assault. Like, I don't think you can tell a cop like, "Hey, I don't want this person arrested for this crime." Like, I don't I mean, it was committed live, so everybody can see it. Why wasn't he arrested? You can just like say no, don't arrest him. I thought you had to be arrested if you committed assault. I don't know if it would be considered a domestic. I think it might actually fall under a domestic dispute because they were friends and they knew each other. But if it was considered a domestic assault, one of them would have to be removed from the situation. And after it happened, I guess Chris Rock was really upset and he was like, I just want out of here. And he left. And that really sucks because I mean, like, think about that. So you get slapped in the face on international TV, you feel like crap, and the guy that just slapped you about 10 minutes later, he gets a standing ovation and gets an award, an Oscar award. It just is really crazy. You were asking me the name of the guy she was hooking up with. His name was Genesis. I thought it was Augusta. I thought it was, yeah, Augusta. I don't know. I think there's a chance that she probably hooked up with multiple people. So I feel like I talked a bunch tonight and I kind of wanted to just do a smaller, quick one tonight. And that's really all I had to say. I just felt kind of weird because I saw so many people talking about their open relationship and I felt like it had nothing to do with anything. Chris Rock handled the situation good. Yeah, I actually was pretty impressed with Chris Rock. And to be honest, I didn't think Chris Rock said anything that offensive, not even close. I I just I don't know. I don't even if he did say something offensive, I don't think Will Smith had any right to smack him like that. And I thought it was nothing but utter pure privilege that he was not arrested. He was not escorted out of the building. And it just shows you, like, if you have money, you can get away with so much. I mean, look at Epstein. And there was just another guy from the Oscars that was like committing all kinds of sexual assault and got away with it for years and years. And that just pisses me off because everybody should be held to the same standard. And I know that if I like came in some building and smacked someone in the face, I would be arrested right there and then. And it doesn't even matter if they were like, you're a bitch or you're this or you're that. And I still assaulted them. It's still assault. No, Will should not have got that angry. It was embarrassing. It was super embarrassing. I was so upset because I really liked Will. But I mean, I don't dislike Will Smith. I don't even know Will Smith. I'm just really disappointed that somebody who's been given that much opportunity and has had that much success in his life would act that way. And I don't know. People say that money doesn't answer everything, but I really feel like those people have never been poor. And I don't think people understand. It just was nothing but pure privilege to me. And that's all I want to say about that. So I hope you liked my little miniature podcast. And next week we will for sure, no matter what, even if Bam Bam's still sick, we will still be doing Annabelle. And just so you guys know, Bam Bam is not here tonight because she does have strep throat. So everyone give her your well wishes. And I guess that's going to do it for me tonight. I hope you enjoyed my mini little podcast. I feel kind of off because she's not sitting here with me, but I love having you guys and I can't wait to see you next week. So goodbye. And as always, stay spooky and stay safe. Bye.